Well, a beautiful day, and that's what you expect here in Tampa this time of year. A little windy, more so than last week when the Buccaneers beat the Atlanta Falcons. The Saints won the toss and they deferred, so the Buccaneers will get the ball first. Kai Forbath will kick off, and Bobby Rainey back deep for Tampa Bay. Lovie Smith turned his team around in his second year after only 2 wins a season ago, and Sean Payton's team struggling with a 4-8 campaign here. And Rainey is going to let it go out of the end zone. And so the Buccaneers and Jameis Winston, the impressive rookie. You can talk about all the numbers you want. When you have game-winning drives, you have a franchise quarterback, and he's had 3 of them.
And the stage has not been too big for Jameis Winston. When they've needed him to make the big play, to turn things around, he has delivered every single time.
And as the season goes on, this team is scoring more. They're getting healthier at the right time.
My 50, my 50, my 50. They're playing man. Ready. Blue wave.
Play action on first down. And Winston's pass is going to be caught by Vincent Jackson. The penalty marker is down. We may have a holding penalty. So the completion. And a big one.
Holding offense, number 76. Penalties half the distance to the goal line.
And it's Donovan Smith, the rookie from Penn State. Well, right now, let's send it down to the field and Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, earlier you mentioned Mark Ingram and Quan Alexander, but both of these teams still missing key pieces on the interior line. The Saints without guard Jari Evans. He is out with an ankle injury. And defensive tackle John Jenkins still feeling the effects of a concussion. For the Buccaneers, Jaquez Smith still sidelined with a hamstring injury. And in that rotation on the defensive line, George Johnson is out with a calf injury. But good news for the Buccaneers, Gerald McCoy, their sack leader and overall leader on defense, is back on the field.
Thank you, Christina. So instead of a 35-yard gain, it's a 10-yard penalty in the handoff to Doug Martin. Last week, the Buccaneers started, David, with 6 straight running plays, and no wonder they are the second-best running team in the league.
But the one thing that they said is we cannot go back to having the undisciplined play and penalties. That is not the way that you want to start the game, because if they don't climb out of this second down, they're going to be in that 3rd and long situation that makes every offensive coordinator crazy.
And you never want Drew Brees to have a short field. 2nd down and 17. Winston. And he completes to the tight end Cameron Brate. They'll be about 7 yards shy of the first down. So Tampa Bay, and looking at their lineup, we talked about Martin. Mike Evans is their go-to guy, and they have a lot more people to throw to now for Winston.
Winston is very excited to have this combination back. All 3 of those guys between Evans, Jackson, and Safarian Jenkins are all 6'5", but it's all about their offensive line. They have really gelled together as a group. George Warhop, their offensive line coach, has talked about how early in the season those miscues have turned into a positive for them.
3rd down and 6. Winston's pass, and it's incomplete. And a good defense there as Adam Humphries covered well by Kyle Wilson, the former Jet. And it's 4th down, and the Buccaneers will have to punt.
It's the start that the New Orleans Saints defense wanted to have. Started off with the penalty by the Bucs to take away a big pass to start the game. But 3rd and long, they were able to attach a blitz off of the outside to force Jameis Winston to get rid of that ball earlier, and he didn't deliver it accurately to Humphries.
Jacob Shum will kick from about the 10. Marcus Murphy is back deep, kicking going toward the sideline and goes out of bounds. Not bad field position, however, for Drew Brees, who comes on. The veteran has had a solid season, but in the last 4 games, 5 interceptions. He's been sacked 10 times. They've lost all 4 games, and Brees going to have to win this game with his arm.
He most certainly is. Obviously, Ingram is out today, so we're going to see a combination of Tim Hightower and C.J. Spiller. We've seen some glimpses of C.J. Spiller, but he hasn't been that addition that they were hoping to get, like a Darren Sproles, who they have had previously in this offense.
Tim Hightower gets the call first, and he gets the handoff and picks up a couple of yards. Hightower in a comeback year, knee injuries, been out of football for a couple of years. Taking a look at the Saints offense, and of course they're glad that Brandon Cooks is okay. They had a little problem with the possible concussion earlier in the week. He's okay.
Big play receiver in Brandon Cooks, but this offensive line once again has been reshuffled. Jari Evans is out at the right guard position, but the versatile Tim Lolito, who's been all over the board, is starting at that right guard.
On 2nd down and 7, they go back to Hightower, and Hightower gets past the 45-yard line, where Levante David makes the tackle in a gain of 3. The Tampa Bay defense has been brilliant against the run, and as Christina mentioned, Gerald McCoy playing with a cast on his hand, back in action.
Well, it's going to be great to have Gerald McCoy back, and people are wondering how his production will be affected. In the run game, it won't, because he's a one-gap penetrator, but we'll see how he's able to use that hand now in pass pro.
3rd and 4. And Breeze. And he completes the pass to Brandon Cooks, the leading receiver. And a touchdown reception against Carolina last week, and a gain of 6. First down, Saints.
They only rush 4, and we see immediately that they don't get the pressure on Drew Brees. Outside one-on-one, Cooks is able to get the safety and the corners off back on their heels to come back to the football. And this is a nice start that they wanted to have for the New Orleans Saints.
And C.J. Spiller is in the lineup, finally getting some touches. The former Buffalo Bill is play action for Breeze, and the pass is caught at the 46-yard line by Benjamin Watson, the tight end, and a terrific year for Watson, taking Jimmy Graham's spot. Lansana on the hard tackle. So the Saints remain in Buck territory.
That's a great start for Danny Lansana. Obviously, he's stepping in with Bruce Carter, and it's up to these linebackers to make plays. Wasn't fooled by that one, was able to come up and make a key stop.
It'll be 2nd down and 8 on the Tampa Bay 46, and the handoff is to Spiller trying to go outside. And Spiller put flags down, several penalty markers down, goes out of bounds at the 41.
That's going to be on Brandon Coleman immediately. You love when your wide receivers block, but the hands outside of the framework, he had a nice tackle on that one, and they called it.
Clete Blakeman is the referee today.
Holding. Offense. Number 16. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
We don't even have to wait for the announcement with you around, David.
No, that one was clear. It was right at the sidelines. And if you look, here he is, one-on-one. See the hands outside, and they're going to call that every single time.
Marcus Colston, the veteran, is on the sideline. Tim Hightower, meanwhile, coming back in at running back. So now it's 2nd and 17 for Breeze and company. Try to pick up some on the air, and he does. The pass is caught to about the same spot of the previous play. Brandon Cooks makes his 2nd reception of the game, and the Saints will be short of a first down by about 3 yards.
Brandon Cooks is making his presence felt immediately right now. Obviously, he's the most targeted receiver on their team, but Drew Brees has delivered it to him and getting them started fast.
And the last 5 games, he has been on fire. 3rd down and 3 from the 41. Brees has time, and he lofts one, and he's got the tight end Benjamin Watson, and Watson with a first down and out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Chris Conte, the strong safety, defending on the play, and so Brees, who needs to win it with his arm, so far successful, has completed 3 for 3. That's for 26 yards.
And it's all starting up front with the offensive line. If you give Drew Brees time, he can pick teams apart. Getting Ben Watson involved. We see Brandon Cooks. So he's getting his playmakers involved early in this game and testing how this defense will step up.
So good touch there, which of course we've seen before. So first down at the 15, and here's Hightower up the middle. Hightower breaking a couple of tackles, gets inside the 5, and has another Saint first down. Teron Armstead, who was shaken up during the week, the left tackle with a good block to free Hightower on that run.
Well, you know Hightower is a physical downhill runner, but the thing that you would be worried about because he hasn't had extensive play.
Hightower down, and good tackle by David.
But what I was saying was, is you worry about a player who hasn't had as many extensive plays in a game situation, and since he's been out so much, will his vision be there? Will his patience to let blocks get set up instead of hitting the hole before they're all set? Those are things that you have to worry about. But he's shown now he's having that patience. The offensive line has given him holes, and he's taking advantage.
Red zone defense for Tampa Bay. They have clamped down, and C.J. Spiller is in the game, in the backfield. On second and goal from the 3, play action, Breeze, and the pass is in for the touchdown to Marcus Colston. So one of the few remaining offensive weapons that Drew Brees has, Marcus Colston in his 10th year with the 3-yard touchdown catch, and the Saints on the opening drive for them score.
And this is a quiet combination between Drew Brees and Colston, because that's their 7th touchdown pass together, 5th most all time. And if you look at who's before that, Manning to Harrison, Young to Rice. See him at the top of the screen. Here we go. Little play action. My mistake on the wrong side. I'm sitting here flipping through. That's my mistake. Saw the other tight end, but he was on the backside, ran the inside post to the...
Ty Forbath with the extra point, and the Saints take a 7-0 lead. So hard to defend in the red zone when it's first and goal, and New Orleans takes the early lead.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
And a quiet crowd expecting a sellout and an impressive drive capped by Breeze to Colston 3 yards out. And the Saints have done well in the first quarter in games this year.
They most certainly have, and it was a fast start and different personnel groupings, formations, but they were able to take advantage of a short field.
And Jameis Winston will bring the Buccaneers out, trailing 7-0 when we return.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Ready.
First down at the 20 for Tampa Bay. And Doug Martin manages to get through, and he gets 6 yards on first down.
Go back to the touchdown. You see at the bottom of the screen, you see Snead and Colston out there. You think the little pick rub routes. Easy touchdown.
Another look in the back of the end zone for Colston. So now it's 2nd down and 4. Again, it's Martin. And Martin is going to be stopped about 2.5 yards shy of the first down. By the way, Drew Brees with that touchdown pass, his 420th of his career, ties it with Dan Marino for 4th on the NFL's all-time touchdown passing list.
What an unbelievable accomplishment for Drew Brees, but I know this, he'll be happy with that when he looks back, but this guy is a competitor. He wants to win today.
That's why they're a threat at 4-8, David. You're absolutely right. 3rd down and 2, Charles Sims is in the game, and he is in motion. Joining Winston in the backfield, here comes pressure and the pass to the outside, and Sims managed to hold on, and then he is tackled. Very nearly dropped it. Good pressure by Donnell Ellerbe, the weak side backer. And as a result of all that, a loss of 4 yards, and once again the Bucs have to kick.
Well, this is a fast start like they had last week up against Carolina, but you're going to see Ellerbe. They're great to have him back. He gets the pressure right down the bow of the quarterback, right through the middle, which any quarterback, whether they're delivering a screen or whatnot, that's not easy to deliver with that in your face and trying to get the touch on it.
Pass looked like an incompletion.
At least Sims was smart enough to pick it up instead of having any miscues or anything that you can go back and say, well, maybe we heard a whistle, it was incomplete. None of that stuff.
Better be safe than sorry, for sure. So Shum will kick it away, and Marcus Murphy is deep. This is a short kick and a fair catch called for by Murphy at the 33. Saints lead at 7-0, and Drew Brees climbing up the touchdown passing list all time with the first score. Will come out with the rest of the offense shortly.
Today's game is sponsored by Pepsi. Go behind the scenes of the Pepsi Super Bowl 50 halftime show, only on Pepsi.com.
Back here in Tampa, Saints lead 7-0. Drew Brees was 5 for 5 on that scoring drive. Wasn't pressured much at all. Saints starting from the 33. First time they began from the 40. On first down, the handoff and a good run by Hightower off the right side. So Drew Brees climbs, and he tied Dan Marino with that TD pass. Big company in front of him as well.
Unbelievable company, and he's going to be like the rest of his crew in the Hall of Fame.
And Drew Brees, as you mentioned, so true. The numbers, that'll be for another time. C.J. Spiller now in the backfield on 2nd and 6 for the Saints. And the pass going to Spiller, and he is decked immediately. Jude Barima, the cornerback, and he along with Sterling Moore starting their 6th straight game and delivering big time for Lovie Smith.
And they most certainly have. Because of the miscues they had at their corner spot, it really led to a lot of struggles in this Tampa 2, because you want to be able to bring pressure. You want to be able to do other things, to apply things on an offense. But if you don't have two corners that you can trust to play sound fundamental football, it's not going to happen.
Loss of 3 brings up 3rd and 9. And the crowd is into it. Brees pumps twice and completes the pass, but no first down. Willie Snead, who was out against Carolina and has scored 3 touchdowns this year, is tackled at the 40. And good defense by Tampa Bay, bringing up 4th down. And Thomas Morstead will come in to kick, and an injured player, and Gerald McCoy is shaken up. McCoy, there's no question he's hurting here, and we're going to take a break. We'll be back. Gerald McCoy ultimately walked off on his own power, and the other player injured for the Bucs was Levante David, who came off as well. You know, Quan Alexander is out, so we're talking about 3 top defenders right now on the sideline as the Saints will punt on 4th and 3. Morstead will be kicking, and Rainey is back deep. Fair catch by Rainey. Good kick by Morstead, and Rainey fields it at the 10.
If you look at Gerald McCoy coming in, watch his left leg. You're going to see it get rolled up the rest of the pile right there. That's something you never want to see. And Levante David was also a player out on the field that was injured. He looked a lot better walking off by himself than Gerald McCoy did.
McCoy just getting back into action after missing last week with the surgery on the hand. So the Buccaneers, who have had to punt the first 2 times they've had the ball, 2, 3 and outs, will start from the 11-yard line. And here's Doug Martin, and Martin doesn't get much on first down. Send it down to Christina.
Well, Dick, I actually talked to Gerald McCoy before the game about the procedure he had on his hand. He actually had 2 breaks and had 8 screws put in along with a plate. You guys pointed out that he's playing with a cast today. Not the first time he's had to do that. Last year had to play with a cast when he suffered a different break on that hand. Actually contacted Warren Sapp to give him advice on how to play with the cast. Told him adjust the rush, adjust your game, no excuses. So certainly hurting him right now to be on the sideline.
All right, Christina, 7 sacks leading the team. Charles Sims checking in the backfield for the Bucs on 2nd and 8. Hardly a drop, and the pass to Austin Seferian-Jenkins, the tight end, and a first down, picking up 13. Time for a game break. Let's check in with Mike Hill.
Panthers looking to stay perfect and looking good early against the Falcons. Cam Newton could be your MVP. The Ted Ginn Jr. 74-yard strike, getting 7 touchdown catch of the season. 14-0 Panthers in the first. Dick, David, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. First down on the 26, and this pass high and off the fingertips of Safarian Jenkins, incomplete.
They're very excited to have Safarian Jenkins back, because if you look at that lineup that they just had out there, Evans, Brait, Jackson, Safarian Jenkins, if you're going 2 by 2, what's better than to have 4 receivers that are 6'5" to match up against the safeties in the corners?
2nd down and 10 on the 26. Here's Sims. And Sims tackled at the 30-yard line by Kevin Williams. By the way, Kevin Williams playing in his 200th career game today. 13th year, and he's been a joy to watch coming over from the Seahawks, the third team he's been with.
And the only 2 players ahead of him are Charles Woodson and Julius Peppers. That's an unbelievable group to be involved with, not to mention as an interior defensive lineman. What an accomplishment.
3rd down and 6 from the 30. Cameron Brait going in motion. And here's Winston in trouble. And Winston will be tackled. You saw him protect the football. And a loss on the play. And that was Obum Gwachem from Oregon State, and then the Seahawks, and a loss of 6 yards here.
This is something that we haven't seen lately, because Jameis Winston feels the pressure, and instead of sitting back and still delivering, this is when we're seeing him going back to his college tendencies, trying to scramble, getting his eyes off of downfield. We're moving to the right. New Orleans Saints defense is clearly affecting him and his performance.
There's no question about it. Obum Gwachem with the sack is first of the year, and here is the punt to Marcus Murphy. Flag is down. Murphy from the 24. So the penalty marker down right in the area in which the Saint kick returner fielded the ball. So far, Sean Payton has to be pleased with the scoring drive, number 1, but his defense on 3 series.
And the biggest thing is a lineman assignment. They're getting lined up, no communication errors, and they're playing physical, fast football.
Number 17 of the kicking team went out of bounds voluntarily and came back in. It's a 5-yard penalty that New Orleans elects to tap onto the end of the run. 1st down, New Orleans.
Dante Dye can't come back, and a little frustration for Jameis Winston. Saints get it back, leading 7-0. 1:46 on the clock. Well, Sean Payton has never lost 5 straight games since becoming the head coach. This is his 9th year. Of course, 1 year was suspended. So it's been a decade since he went to New Orleans. And so that's what the Saints are trying to break today. Levante David is back out there. Not Gerald McCoy, but he's good to go according to Christina. Marcus Murphy is in the game as the running back. And this is his first carry of the season. He's been a kick returner exclusively. What if you died and then were brought back to life? Well, this January, one man will find out. It's the intriguing new drama, Second Chance. Series premiere Wednesday, January 13th on Fox.
I still hope I come back as an NFL former football player and 2-time Super Bowl champ, that's for sure.
Hold on to your rings, buddy. 2nd down and 10 from the 35. Breeze, and he dumps it off to Sneed, and Sneed is tackled. Forward progress to the 40-yard line, getting 5 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and 5.
Sneed is a quiet performer. He was out last week with a calf injury, so it's great to have him back. But he is number 2 in first-year receiving leaders. Number 1 is Amari Cooper, and he's a close second behind. And
back in the lineup to the cheers of the capacity crowd is Gerald McCoy. Didn't look good for a while, did it, David? But he's back in there. 3rd down and 5. And the swing pass to C.J. Spiller, and Spiller will have the 1st down just shy of midfield, pushed out of bounds by Keith Tandy, picking up 8 yards in the process.
And in those 4 losses, we've seen Drew Brees outside his comfort zone, getting to move the launch point, not getting his feet set. Today, so far, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive line has not been able to apply that pressure on him, and he's getting the ball to numerous receivers. Nice check down wheel route to get the 1st down.
And that's how you get to be 9 for 9 to start the game, and that's what Breeze is. 1st down from the 48 of the Saints. Look one way, puck one way, and finally going down. And a big play made by Bruce Carter, the former Cowboy, who was out last week with concussion protocol, starting in place of the rookie Quan Alexander. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Saints 7, Bucks nothing. Start of the second quarter, David Lovie-Smith must have been hearing you when you said no pressure. All of a sudden they get a sack. They're 13th in the last 5 games, and they lose 11.
It was a great way to get Bruce Carter now some confidence added on in the blitz. If we can go back to it after this play, you're going to see Hightower. If you want to run with the football, you better pass protect.
Second down and 21. And Breeze's pass is tipped, and the pass is incomplete. Trying to get it to Colston, but there were a lot of red jerseys in the area, and Keith Tandy got a hand on it.
No, going back to that sack, you see Bruce Carter here. He's going to be the blitzer. Hightower, you've been out for some games, but you've got to know your assignment before you go out on the route. You better pick up that blitzer so Drew Brees doesn't take hits like this.
Tell you, Mark Ingram, one of the great things he did was pass protect.
And it doesn't matter what running back you are. If you want to run with the football, they have to have confidence that you can pass protect and get it done.
First incompletion thrown by Brees. It'll be third down and 21. Inside the 30, and he's going deep, and a receiver is open, and the pass is caught. Willie Snead beat the defender by about 10 yards. Bradley McDougald, the free safety, and a huge gain for the Saints on third and long. They get 41 yards.
The only time that they've been able to get it after Drew Brees is when they've been blitzing, because if you look at this time that he has by this offensive line, he's able to deliver it to Snead at the top of the screen, just running a fly, gets right past the corner and is able to make a big play on A.J. Barima before McDougald can come over and help.
From the 22, and the flag is down. The quick pass to Colston, and they gang up on him, do the Buccaneers, at the 14. Penalty markers down.
McCoy just checked himself off of the field and is walking off.
And a false start penalty called against the Saints. So that means Henry Melton has gone in to replace McCoy. There's McCoy on the sideline. Melton started and played last week in McCoy's absence.
And Tony McDaniel played very well last week. So, you know, even though he's not out there and he's feeling the effects of, I don't know if it's the hand or the knee roll up, you know, these veteran backups have done a nice job of filling in his shoes.
First down and 15 at the 27. Saints have outgained the Bucks 120 to 31. Simply, they're going to have to outscore the Bucks if they're to win. And here's Tim Hightower. And Hightower getting to the 22-yard line, getting about the 5 yards back that they lost on the penalty. Hightower, by the way, originally a 5th-round pick from Arizona in 2008, traded to Washington, a torn ACL, played in the Fall Experimental League, was all over the place, including the Canadian League. He's out of action right now, and second down and 10. Brees drills it. And the pass is caught inside the 5 by Benjamin Watson, and it'll be first and goal for the Saints. Watson, the big target, and a gain of 18 yards. Brees' arm working so far for the Saints. First and goal early here in the second.
They were in 5 wide receivers, empty backfield, but Drew Brees looking, he knows where he's going with that football. He's looking to his left, getting the secondary and the corners to look over. He's delivering it perfectly to Ben Watson.
Third catch for Watson. Brees now 11 for 12.
I thought Ben Watson was only a blocker. Remember with the Jimmy Graham?
I guess otherwise. And here is Spiller with the run. And Spiller getting to the 1-yard line. C.J. Spiller, who has carried 31 times coming into this game. It'll be second and goal from the 1 for the Saints. Buccaneers, by the way, have not allowed a rushing touchdown in 6 straight games. That's in jeopardy here. Tim Hightower back in at running back. Looking to get it through the air to Colston, and Colston is in for the touchdown. So the Bucs don't give up a rushing touchdown, but it doesn't matter. Colston with his second touchdown catch of the game from a yard out, and the Saints have opened up a 13-0 lead.
3 wide receivers. He's the inside. They're just going to run the little rub routes. Outsides come in. He takes the outside right at that pylon, and this is a connection Drew Brees has had for a long time.
How many times have they done that before?
71. 71 times for a touchdown.
So Brees, 11th season with 25 or more touchdown passes, tied for second all time behind 2 pretty good ones in Favre and Brady. Flag is down as Kai Forbath's looking to add the extra point, and a false start penalty against New Orleans. That'll drive a coach up the wall too, David.
Most certainly will, Dick, especially on an extra point. Hold in there.
So Forbath, who joined the Saints in week 7, and this kick is good. 14-0 from 1 yard out. Brees to Colston for the second time in the game.
Today's game is sponsored by T-Mobile. Ditch your carrier and switch to the Un-carrier.
Saints are leading by a score of 14-0, so another double-digit drive, and it ends the same way with Brees finding Colston, and it's 14-0 as Forbath kicking off Bobby Rainey in the end zone, and he could have run it out. He was only about 4 yards in, but decides to take the touchback. Will return. Bucs 2 touchdowns down. Well, this is Lovie Smith really giving it to the Tampa Bay defense and giving it to them strong. Meanwhile, the offense on the field, first down at the 20-yard line. Jameis Winston rolling out, and the pass is caught at the 25 by Vincent Jackson. So it's 14-0. And David Deal, no one kind of anticipated, even though New Orleans has the ability, this kind of a start.
I don't think people would expect this, but if you watch the New Orleans Saints this year, they're actually plus 46 in the first quarter. But the second through fourth quarter, they're being outscored by 113 points. So to have this fast start is great, but it's about closing the games out and doing it in the second half.
And this pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. And flags go down as well, and they've got to separate a few of the players. Cameron Jordan got a hand on it to deflect the pass, and then 3 flags were thrown.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down, Tampa.
Game break time before the next play. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
A big start for Seattle at Baltimore. Russell Wilson hooks up with the rookie Tyler Lockett on an 8-yard score. Gave them a 7-0 lead, but they lost running back Thomas Rawls to an ankle injury for the day. And of course, he's replacing Marshawn Lynch. They're up 7-3. David Christina.
Now they're marking off the penalty up to the 40-yard line. Taking a look at the NFC West, Seattle really been a hot team as of late. And right now would be a wild card team in the NFC. Handoff is to Doug Martin, and Martin picking up 3 yards on first down.
That last penalty on Kyle Wilson is their 54th, which is most in the NFL. But the biggest issue is, out of those 54 penalties, 47 have resulted in a first down.
That's why you're 4-8. One of the reasons anyway. Charles Sims flanked out in at running back, and Winston's pass incomplete off the hand of Humphreys, and that was a pass he should have grabbed.
But if you notice, it was Jameis Winston's mechanics on that one.
Another flag. Where we're getting a bunch of these in a row.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 24, into the helmet of the receiver. 15-yard penalty.
How about another penalty on Kyle
Bay.
Wilson? Self-destructing on this series.
But look, he's going right at the head, launching. You know that the player safety, they're protecting the quarterbacks, receivers. That ball is not going to be catched or caught. So, stupid penalty.
I mean, the discipline is, or lack of it, is so obvious on these back-to-back penalties when your team has a 14-0 lead and playing well here in the first half. So it's a first down on the 42 of New Orleans. And they fake to Martin, and Winston carries and gets a yard on the play.
We know we saw Lovie Smith talking to the defense on the sidelines, but you could feel the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do not have the same energy and the excitement that they had playing last week at home.
They came out flat. Winston with a deep drop, and his pass incomplete off the hands of Dante Dye. So not only is the team flat, Winston is not sharp. His accuracy isn't there so far. And Jordan putting pressure on Winston on that play.
Well, it's because they're getting hits. They're getting hits on Jameis Winston. He's not getting his feet settled. Whenever he has that long stride, elbow drops, ball sails too high. They're doing things now to make Jameis Winston look like a rookie.
Looking like he did against the Colts. The Colts put a lot of pressure on him, and he didn't do well there. This time he has some time, but the receivers are covered, and here is Winston running. We saw it last week, and Winston will get the first down to the 24-yard line. He always has those legs, doesn't he? 18 yards and a Tampa Bay first down.
When they need him to make a play, he steps up and makes a play. Now they've got to protect him.
8th play of the drive. First down on the 24 of the Saints.
Where'd we go?
And Charles Sims hit immediately by Cameron Jordan. Jordan, one of the few defenders who are really having an outstanding year for New Orleans.
He has 8 sacks, which is tied for the 8th most in the NFL. He's been disruptive all season, but when you play on a defense that is 32nd in the NFL, you're not going to get the praise and the glory that you deserve individually because it's about the group collectively.
Stephon Anthony, the middle linebacker, another outstanding player defensively. So it'll be second down and 11. And Winston going underneath to Sims. And Sims getting to about the 18 before Damian Swan makes the stop, gets 6 yards.
And I know you don't really want to talk about players that aren't on the field, but you know, the thing that you would be hoping for is to watch Quan Alexander and Stephon Anthony, 2 guys who would be competing for the Defensive Rookie of the Year.
How difficult is it for David to be playing without Alexander?
Very difficult because you hope that he doesn't revert back to who he was in the beginning of the season, trying to do too much.
3rd down and 5. Winston and his pass, and a flag goes down. Safarian Jenkins covered by Brandon Browner, and you know what his rep has been, but flag is down.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 39. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down, Tampa Bay.
So Brandon Browner, who leads the league with his 22nd penalty right here.
Brandon Browner on Safarian Jenkins has a full hand of cloth.
Browner leading the league in penalties.
64 is eligible. 64 is eligible.
And most of them have been holding penalties, and it'll be a first down on the 14. So the 3rd major penalty here against the Saints. Kevin Pamphile, an extra offensive lineman from the 14. And the pitch going to Doug Martin. Martin breaking a couple of tackles. Martin will score.
One of the things that the Saints defensive line has struggled all season with is protecting and setting the edge for a defense, forcing the football back inside where the rest of your defenders can help. Tampa Bay Buccaneers understand that. We're able to get the toss and get Martin out in the open field. Great blocks to seal it and to get him the touchdown and get him rolling and involved in this game.
His 5th touchdown of the year. Connor Barth with the extra point. So a 14-yard touchdown run helped by 3 penalties against the Saints, amounting to 35 yards, and the Bucs are back in the game.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new Fiat 500X crossover.
Back in Tampa, the Bucs have sliced the New Orleans lead to 14-7, 10-play drive, and Martin, who came into the game needing 119 yards to take over the NFL rushing lead from Adrian Peterson, and Marcus Murphy and company will let the ball bounce out of the end zone. Saints will take over on the 20. Big penalties against the defense here.
Well, if you want to give an offensive team momentum and more possessions, this is the way to do it. 2 penalties, 4 first downs on one drive. That's their 3rd today. And if you go back and watch last week's game against the Carolina Panthers, to start the second half, Brandon Browner, 2 penalties, first down. Carolina Panthers march 80 yards for a touchdown, and that's where that game really started to change for the Panthers.
These are the offensive leaders for the Saints, who did have a 14-0 lead over Carolina last week, and also 2 leads in the 4th quarter. Gerald McCoy is into the game. Back in there now. First down at the 20. Breeze. And the pass is caught by Colston, getting 8 yards, and we'll see whether Lovie Smith's tongue lashing pays off for the Buccaneer defense here. Second down and 3. Breeze is 1 incomplete pass in 14 attempts and 2 touchdowns thus far. Tim Hightower, this tailback.
Pull back.
And they go to Hightower, looking to cut inside, and Hightower close to a first down, maybe short by a half a yard.
He's getting tough physical yards, but the good thing he's doing is protecting that football. And this is where the New Orleans Saints offense has got to be happy, because what are they doing on first and second down? They're staying ahead of the chain so that they're not in 3rd and long positions, which has led to them 4 for 5 today on 3rd down.
The Saints are 4 for 5 on 3rd down conversions. They need 1 here. Maybe running more than they anticipated. And here's Hightower. Forward progress may be enough. Saints think so.
And the Buccaneers think not. They're pointing the other direction.
What else is new? Let's get a game break in. Kurt Menefee ready for one. Kurt.
Well, Perfect Carolina racked up 260 yards of offense in the first quarter alone. That's the most of any team in any period all season long. 46 on the touchdown pass from Cam to Ted Ginn. They're up 21-0, looking to go to 13-0. Dick, David, and Christina.
And thank you, Kurt. They can clinch a first-round bye with a win today, and they're up big.
Let's go here.
First down on the 30. And play blown dead. Flag down.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty, delay of the game. Take a look at the NFC playoff picture right now. Of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers shooting for a wild card. Right now, they would be out at 7th behind the Seahawks. They're a game behind them. The Falcons are getting beat today. That's not going to help their cause at all at 6-6. You were talking about Tony McDaniel, how well he played. Well, he came in for Gerald McCoy at defensive tackle. Now 1st and 15. And Breeze, incomplete, going for Cooks.
It's been nice to see the balance. I know you spoke about it earlier, the breakdown of runs and pass. That's something that they haven't had, because if you look at those 10 runs that they already have, in the first half of this football game, that equals the amount that they had 2 weeks in Houston.
They have averaged 3 yards a rush and have been outrushed 47 to 33, but you've still got to show the run to set up all the other things. C.J. Spiller in the game goes out as a receiver, and the pass is caught by Watson. And Watson, getting out to the 34-yard line, will still be about 6 yards shy of the first down.
You know, I said it jokingly earlier, Ben Watson, we all thought that he was just a blocker, but he has had one of the biggest jumps in the NFL from 2014 to 15. He is up 506 yards. That's unbelievable, but it's all about opportunities. And when Jimmy Graham was traded to Seattle, he has taken full advantage of it.
Second leading receiver. Bucs have been good on third down conversions. They need 6 right here. Drew Brees fires, and the pass, if both feet were in, they were, and it'll be a first down. Watson again with Major Wright defending as well as he could, and a gain of 7. First down, New Orleans.
I think everybody's looking at the sidelines. Was he in? But it's clear the 1-2. He gets that second one in. You could barely see it from that view, but you could see he taps it. He gets that foot down and is able to convert.
And here is Hightower storming his way to the 45-yard line, picking up 4 yards, and they got that play off in a hurry.
Didn't want to give him the opportunity to challenge it, that's for sure. But it was a catch. So it would have been a wasted challenge flag, to say the least. It's always funny to see where the coaches have them. Some have them in the socks, some back pocket. They're all over the place. They sure know how to get that thing out quick.
As long as they don't wear them on their sleeve, you never want to do that. Second down and 6. Brees, play action. He's got time, and he's got the receiver caught by Willie Snead. So Snead coming back in strong fashion this week, picking up 23 yards. And into Tampa Bay territory once again is Drew Brees and the Saints.
This was a player that was on the practice squad last year, but has developed into a phenomenal receiver. He's been a security blanket for Drew Brees outside of all the other weapons. It was very interesting because Drew Brees compared him to Lance Moore because he's smooth, a really good route runner and shifty, and he is not scared to mix it up.
Not at all. 4 catches for 75 yards for Snead. Hightower will be stopped, and there'll be a loss of a couple of yards. Levante David shaken up earlier, and also during practice this week had a little ankle problem, missed practice 1 day, makes another good defensive play, losing 3 for the Saints.
Another 100-plus tackle season. He is all over the football field, but he said it. I've settled down. I was trying to do too much earlier, and he's been making game-changing plays like the pick 6 he had last week.
3 interceptions on the year. Of course, the game clincher with the pick late in the contest. Second down in 13 against Atlanta last week, and this intended for Cooks out of bounds, and that will bring up third down.
But once again, it's a third and manageable down. This is where the New Orleans Saints and any offense feels that they can have that extra added bonus of not only having just to throw the football.
Well, let's see whether, again, Lovie Smith talking to his team pays off. This is the 11th play of the drive. C.J. Spiller in the backfield on third down and 13 from the Tampa Bay 35. Drew Brees stepping up, and the pass is caught and close to the first down, and I believe the Saints have a first down. Willie Snead once again sure-handed in this first half, and a gain of 12 yards, and now they mark it inside. They change the marking, and they're going to be short by a yard.
Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense know that the only way that they've gotten pressure on Drew Brees is by blitzing, but it was picked up nicely by the offensive line. Spiller was able to step up and butt one up right in the middle, and Snead making another big catch.
So it'll be fourth down and a yard. And a timeout called by the Saints, their first, with 2:22 remaining in the first half. Timeout. New Orleans trying to add to their lead. Now the Saints are challenging the ruling on the field that the spot of the ball was short of the first down. And it looked as if, and originally it looked like they had enough, and they changed the spot.
What a great play by Willie Snead. He sees exactly where the marker is. McDougal coming over to make the hit, but he stretches out. His feet are still in bounds and gets it past the marker. That's a first down.
Mike Pereira, your thoughts?
Well, I think it is one of those where it's a quick stretch out. You try to get that shot at where the ball crosses the sideline because that's the key. He doesn't get that original forward progress, by the way, because even though there was contact, he disengaged.
After review the
but
play,
it looks like to me like he gets...
The runner extended the ball to the 21.5-yard line, beyond the line to gain, so it is a first down.
Good challenge by Sean Payton.
Will not be charged a timeout for the challenge.
Mike, wrap it up.
And he did. When he gets that reach, that's actually what he could conclude in replay is that before anything hit out of bounds, he was able to get it across the line to gain.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. And by the way, this is the first successful challenge of the year by Sean Payton, who was 0 for 5 before that one.
Well, he's hoping that this football team in the last 5 weeks doesn't go 0 for 5. Maybe that's a turn. That's it. That's a change right there.
4 games
they
in
win
the
the challenge and it's over. The drought is over.
First down now on the 21. Snead, 5 catches, 89 yards. Sensational first half. And now we have a whistle.
The clock will start. Am I ready for play?
Clock issue. 2:22. And running. Breeze's numbers. Pretty impressive. And another stoppage.
Please put 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Because we charged New Orleans with a timeout, the clock will start on the snap.
Saints have 2 timeouts remaining. Gerald McCoy in the game. In case you're wondering, it'll be first down from the 21. Breeze swings it out to Spiller. C.J. Spiller picking up about 4 yards on the play. Pushed out by David.
As I said earlier, I think people were expecting more out of C.J. Spiller this season. Obviously, he had his knee done and scoped in August. But this is December. This is the time where you know your football team needs you to step up and make plays. Hopefully moving down here this stretch, it's not all on Hightower, and he steps up and does more.
Saints let it go down to the 2-minute warning. Leading 14-7, looking for more. Get apps, videos, and more at itunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes remain in the first half. Saints have run 14 more plays than the Buccaneers. Second down and 8. Tim Hightower. And that'll be another first down for New Orleans just outside the 10-yard line.
He is running tough. He is getting downhill, lowering the boom. We talked about Ben Watson not only being a blocker, he had a fantastic block on that to spring him to get the first down. But this is very important right now for the Tampa Bay defense to tighten up and hold them to a field goal, because you get the ball to start the second half, you want to minimize it as much as possible.
Only gained 48 yards and 12 carries coming in. And here is Hightower, and this time knocked back for a loss of 1. Saints still have 2 timeouts remaining. And a timeout called here by Tampa Bay. Well, we're getting close to halftime, and to find out what we have in store, here's Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, do the Kansas City Chiefs get their 7th straight win? Will LaShawn McCoy be homecoming king in Philly? And can the Bengals take the throne as the kings of the North? Plenty of questions out there. We'll try and answer them for you coming up on the Visa halftime.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. And you got to think Breeze is going to be throwing the ball in this area, because that's worked for him thus far.
And the one thing that Bucs defense and secondary have struggled on our inside slants inside the red zone.
Second and 10, they fake the handoff, and the slant caught at the 6 by Brandon Coleman. 5-yard pickup, and the clock stops with 1:11 to go, and a timeout called by Tampa Bay.
Now, when the corners in this secondary play outside leverage, and you've got a big body receiver like Coleman, like Colston, it's an easy throw for Drew Brees to make as long as they get downhill and beat any corner to the point.
6 different receivers have caught passes from Drew Brees. It'll be 3rd down and 4 from the 5-yard line. And the Saints stay perfect in the red zone with touchdowns.
Colston's right here. He's the one that has had 2 today.
And here goes Brees on the run. And Brees is stopped at the 5, bringing up 4th down. And it was Henry Melton, former Cowboy and Chicago Bear. And the field goal kicking team comes on, and the Buccaneers call their 3rd and final timeout.
And that's the stop that the Buccaneers defense needed to go into the second half.
Forbath last week missed a 38-yard attempt, the only field goal try he had. And he had his long of the year against the Houston Texans 2 weeks ago, 57 yards. And with 1:06 to go, Tampa Bay out of timeouts, but they'll see what they can do to get in scoring range. This will be a 23-yard attempt. And the kick is good. So Drew Brees gets the team down to the 5. They get 3 out of it, and a 10-point New Orleans lead. We'll be back. Back here in Tampa, Gary Sheffield, one of the great sluggers in the major leagues.
Old Yankee Stadium, sitting on that third baseline, you would have to watch out because he would have that floating, swinging bat, and if he was ripping foul balls, I mean, you'd have to clear house because those things would be screaming by you.
Scalding line drives. There's Rainey way back. And he'll field the short kick at the 2-yard line. Bobby Rainey looking to break one and give the Bucs good field position, and he does actually. Gets it out close to the 34. Well, he's the most unique, fearless, outspoken voice in sports. And here's what Colin's got coming up tomorrow on The Herd.
Hi, I'm Colin Cowherd, and I know Jameis Winston has had some ups and downs, but we've mostly been impressed with his rookie season. Does he still have a chance at a playoff run? That and everything else from the NFL weekend tomorrow on The Herd at noon Eastern on FS1.
Always interesting and entertaining, Colin Cowherd. Meanwhile, Winston just 4 for 9. No Tampa Bay receiver has caught more than 1 pass in this game. And open up the middle and complete to Charles Sims. And Sims will get the first down. Boy, he couldn't be more wide open as he picks up 14. Hurry up.
I know the Saints know they have no timeouts and they're trying to force everything in front, but it's an easy chunk.
Now Winston. Flag is down. Winston slides at the 46. And a penalty was thrown just as Winston went down.
I think they were looking at Jarvis Bird on Humphreys.
Illegal contact. Defense number 24. The 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down,
Another
Tampa Bay.
defensive penalty on the Saints. Mike Hill with a game break.
Big blow for the Bengals. Andy Dalton out with a right thumb injury and a cast on the sideline, so A.J. McCarron steps up and finds A.J. Green 66 yards for the score. McCarron's first career touchdown pass, 13-7 Steelers in the second.
Watch out for the Steelers. Meanwhile, 1st and 10. And Winston getting some time. And the pass is caught by Dante Dye. Dante Dye gets it to the 26-yard line. Picking up 16.
Running to spike it.
Let me go.
And there are 13 seconds remaining. No timeouts left for the Buccaneers. But once again, you've got to talk about the defensive penalties, 3 resulting in first down so far.
And 3 of penalties on Kyle Wilson. You're not expecting that out of a veteran. You need to play like a veteran, not like a rookie.
Taking over the role of Brandon Browner so far in this game. Browner has committed 1.
Hey, Sunday.
Winston's numbers, 2nd and 10, 13 seconds. On the outside, great. Goes out of bounds, stops the clock with 8 seconds to go. 5-yard on that play. So the Buccaneers well within field goal range for Connor Barth. 3rd down and 5, but it's not so much the yardage. The clock is everything here. And the Saints will call a timeout. Their 2nd of the first half to talk this one over.
Timeout. This is the 32nd timeout.
You know, if they're throwing the football here, which they are going to, you've got to get that ball immediately to the sidelines and an out route. They're going to run a little pick rub, make sure that you get out of bounds to get that field goal. And we've seen in any type of game, this drive, these 3 points have what separated and won games for the Buccaneers.
Connor Barth is going to come on right now because unless you're going to try one in the end zone, you always risk an interception.
Yep.
So Connor Barth will try a 39-yard field goal to cut the deficit to 7 before intermission. Remember, the Saints will get the ball to start the second half. Barth 18 for 21 so far this year. And this kick is good. And so with 3 seconds on the clock, it's now the Saints leading the Bucs 17-10.
And it goes to show how important that stop was by the Buccaneers defense to hold them to a field goal. Now it's a 1-possession game.
So the defense woke up, clamped down on the Saints after a very early lackluster performance in the first 2 series when Sean Payton's Saints, led by Breeze, got touchdowns. I want to remind you that the Visa halftime with the gang out in LA coming your way in a few seconds. But, you know, once again, the Buccaneers getting challenged by, you know, the Saints. Tough to win a division game anytime. Tough to win when you go for the playoffs.
It is tough to win, but it's tough, even tougher to win when you come out flat the way that they played. The excitement, the energy was completely different last week playing at home against the Falcons than it was to start today.
Explain that. You played on teams, you thought you were all revved up, ready to go, and then all of a sudden, nothing. Short kick, and down to the 24.
And these games, you know, it's not about record. It's not about numbers. It's about who's going to come in here and fight and deserve the right to win this football game.
So, but the Bucs, you know, with everything, the capacity crowd and everything, come out flat.
And as a New Orleans Saints team, you know that if you lose this game, you're out of the playoffs. Essentially now you're pretty much mathematically out of the playoffs. So what do you come into this game thinking? If we're not getting in, we're going to do everything we can to make sure you do not get in.
You've been in that spot.
Absolutely.
They put 2 seconds back on the clock, but it's a moot point now. And that is the end of the first half with the score, the Saints 17 and the Bucs 10.
This is the end of the
and
first
we
half.
now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa Halftime Report. Today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Halftime, Saints lead the Buccaneers 17-10. David Deal, it's one thing to play a 4-8 team, another thing to have to go against Drew Brees.
It most certainly is, and we'll see what type of speech that Lovie Smith gives his team at halftime, because last week it was how bad do you want it? Well, they came out flat in this first half. But Drew Brees, we talked about it this entire week, and the one thing I said is, yes, they need to run the football so that they're not just one-dimensional. But if you give Drew Brees time, he is going to throw for over 400 yards. He's 19 for 22. He hasn't been affected this game, and he has been delivering it to multiple receivers all day.
C.J. Spiller is back to return the kick, which will go out of the end zone by a mile. And let's send it down to Christina Pink.
David, you asked about the speech Lovie Smith gave his players at halftime. He was very upset when I talked to him, said we're getting outplayed in all three phases of the game. He said we're coming off our block slow. He said there's no fire. We're making simple mistakes. He said we're lucky to be down just 7 points. Jameis Winston will be without one of his big targets here in the second half. I'm told Vincent Jackson has been ruled out with a knee injury, so big loss for the Bucs. Sean Payton just told me he liked the way the offense played on third down, like those numbers. Can't settle for minus plays here in first down.
Here's Tim Hightower to start the third quarter. And by the way, Major Wright is now the free safety taking over for Bradley McDougald. 3-yard gain for Hightower.
Well, they're having a commitment to running the football, starting off with it, getting Hightower his touches. The one thing that, going back when we initially talked to Sean Payton, he said there weren't a lot of positives of that Washington game that we lost. But the one positive was the way that Hightower ran, and he's been effective today.
And the former Redskins, 2nd down and 7. Brees quickly lets go of it in stride. The pass caught by Willie Snead. 6th reception of the game for Snead. So let's take a look at the summary here at halftime. And Brees with his 2 touchdown passes Dan Marino for 4th all time. And Christina mentioned Vincent Jackson being out, and Evans has not been thrown to today. 4 penalties resulting in first down for the Saints, and Colston has caught 2 TDs. 8 penalties against New Orleans. They're leading by 7.
I think Drew Brees heard Christina's report at halftime coming out, because who did he go after on that inside slant? Right at Major Wright, who's in place of Bradley McDougald.
And there's pressure on Brees, one of the few times. And earlier it was Bruce Carter, this time Akeem Spence, the defensive tackle. And having to get rid of it in a hurry was Drew Brees, only his 3rd incompletion of the game.
Trying to move the pocket, trying to get him outside, but Akeem Spence was not fooled on that one and was able to contain and get Drew Brees down.
2nd down and 10 now from the Saint 42. And the pass caught by Cooks close to the first down. Did he hold on to it? Yes. Into the 49-yard line of the Buccaneers. Close to the first down.
And I said earlier that they've given up the slants in the red zone, but now they're giving it up in the open field. Like I said, when those corners are playing man up to outside leverage, these big body receivers are able to make it.
And the correction, they're short of the first down by less than a yard, so it's 3rd down and 1. And Brees on the quarterback sneak will have the first down to the 47.
Drew Brees all day has had time and has delivered the ball to numerous receivers. There, that one we saw to Ben Watson, this one to Snead. He has 2 touchdowns to Colston. And he's been on fire this second half because of the offensive line holding up and giving him time to dissect the defense and read and go through each and every one of his progressions.
David, what a return for Snead, who has 6 catches for 108 yards thus far. From the 47 of the Buccaneers, and the quick to Colston spins his way toward the sideline. But he picks up about 6.5, 7 yards on the first down. Colston with 2 touchdown receptions today from Drew Brees. And we have a Buccaneers shaken up.
Chris Conte.
Yep. And we're going to take a break. Scare earlier in the game when McCoy and David went out, but they came back. Now Conte.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
Conte's come out of the game, replaced by Bradley McDougald, who was replaced by Major Wright to start the second half. Those are the safeties in there now, so it'll be 2nd down and 4.
I think Drew Brees sees that as well.
They're going to run it, and it's going to be Hightower. Tim Hightower stopped at the 40-yard line by Levante David after picking up just a yard.
Well, to start the second half, once we saw that Bradley McDougald was out, Drew Brees attacked him right away. So we'll see it moving forward here, now having another safety in for Chris Conte if he's going to try to do something to attack. But now they brought in Werner.
And Conte's come back as well.
Now Conte has come back as well.
3rd and 3. 8 for 10 on 3rd down conversions for the Saints. Cooks goes out to the right. And the pass incomplete. Good pressure that time at the midsection of Drew Brees. Benjamin Watson was the target, but Brees didn't have a lot of time there, and that'll bring up 4th down.
You know, you're going to see a game up front. You're going to see the twist between the two defensive tackles. You see first one to start it, Brown. Second one to wrap around. That's where they're now getting those pressures. First half, they weren't able to do it with force, so now they're going to stunts. They're going to twists up front with the defensive line and trying to affect Drew Brees, and they were successful on that one.
Bobby Rainey standing at the 10. Thomas Morstead to kick it away at midfield, trying to keep it within the 20, and the fair catch called for by Rainey at the 16. So that's where the Buccaneers will take over, trailing by a touchdown, their first possession offensively here in the 3rd quarter.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history.
First down, Bucks on their 16. Doug Martin has only carried 6 times in this game. Carried the first 6 plays a week ago against Atlanta. Gets the pitch here. Driving upfield. Doug Martin will have the first down, and tough to beat. Tough to bring down and tough to catch sometime, but a big gain of 21 yards before Jarris Byrd takes him down.
Up until that big run, now coming in, they only had 54 yards on the ground, and you would give credit to the New Orleans Saints because the last 3 games defending the run, the Saints defense has given up 551 yards.
Staggering record pace going on there. First down at the 38. Martin, by the way, was averaging 5 yards a clip before that play. Play action to him. And Jameis Winston across the field. And this pass, is it caught for the interception? No, it's incomplete. Brandon Browner had the best chance of making that play.
Clear miscommunication. Safarian Jenkins is breaking inside. Winston threw that one outside to the boundary. Browner could have had an easy interception on that one and could have changed the tempo of the second half.
Well, David, only 2 teams in the NFL have fewer interceptions than the New Orleans Saints. They have 6 on the year, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. And the pitch to Sims. Sims turning the corner and finally gets pushed out of bounds at the 42 by Devin Breaux, who had a big game last week against the Carolina Panthers with an interception.
Delvin Breaux has been phenomenal for this Saints defense. He's really stepped up. He's their best corner. He struggled earlier in the season with a lot of penalties, but he has stopped and he's made some dynamic plays for this Saints team.
3rd down and 5. Sims remains in the game and moves in motion. Here's Sims on a wide receiver screen and nearly broke it and might have gone all the way. Jarris Byrd held onto his foot, but it's a 10-yard pickup. And a missed tackle by Kihaha, and Sims gets the first down.
It was a nice setup of the screen because you had Sims outside and you thought that they were just going to go for the matchup one-on-one against Stephon Anthony, but they actually set up the screen perfectly. So it was a nice change of pace call by Dirk Cutter.
And now on the 47 of the Saints, first down, and Doug Martin going up the middle, and he'll be knocked back. Maybe no gain. Kenny Vaccaro, the strong safety, not letting Martin get away.
Down by Kenny Vaccaro.
Saints are last in rushing defense in the NFL, last in scoring defense, and next to last in pass defense. It's huge. But they've given up only 10 points thus far. And Dennis Allen in his third game calling the plays after Rob Ryan was dismissed. Second and 10. Winston flushed from the point here. And Winston has to throw it. And Safarian Jenkins makes a terrific grab amidst Bird's defense there. Jordan putting the pressure on, and a great play. Winston ad-libbing, getting it to Safarian Jenkins, and it looks to be just short of the first down.
They brought the blitz up front. They're able to hold up for a bit, but then he feels Kikaha coming off of the edge, scrambles off to his right. A nice job getting the ball to Safarian Jenkins, putting it in a spot where only Jenkins can catch it, knowing he was going to get hit by Cam Jordan.
It'll be third down and 1 on the Saint 38. Once again, Kevin Pamphile, as the Bucs have done all year, the extra offensive lineman, jumbo package. Third and 1, and this time Doug Martin may not have made it. Now, it depends on where his forward progress is. Try to leap over the line. And he might have gotten the ball over the first down marker. And where they spotted, it looks like he did.
See him going over the top and stretching that ball out last minute. Look at the catch.
And we have the measurement. And it is a first down by the length of a football. Let's go down to Christina Pink.
Dick, the Saints without linebacker Donnell Ellerby right now. He ran off the field back to the Saints locker room, not given the update yet on what his injury is, but he did go back with a trainer. Also, running back Marcus Murphy back in the locker room as well. So the Saints are a little banged up right now.
No question, Christina, and that's why C.J. Spiller was back to return the kick before. James Anderson, who's played well, number 42, is in the game for Ellerby. And here is a play-action pass and a lot of time for Jameis Winston. And unable to make the catch leaping in the air was Doug Martin. So he had a good chance, even though the pass a bit high, of grabbing it. Instead, it'll bring up second and 10.
Winston is under pressure now, and it's not by blitzes. It's one-on-one matchups that Cam Jordan and the rest of the defensive ends are winning. See Cam Jordan at the end here. He feels it. He sees it coming and just trying to scramble and make a play.
8 sacks to lead the Saints. A third of the team's total coming into this game. And they fake the pass, and Doug Martin. And Martin advances it to the 34-yard line, where it'll be third and long now for Winston and the Bucs.
And this is a long, methodical drive, play action, running the football, completely taking up care of the time of possession. But none of that stuff matters if you don't come up with a touchdown.
Long possession for the Buccaneers, who face a third down and 7 on the New Orleans 34. Make it third and 6. Winston, and the pass is caught and unable to get the first down. Mike Evans with his first catch of the game. Damian Swan, the rookie from Georgia, prevented any first down ideas. So it'll be fourth down coming up, and Connor Barth will come on to try a field goal.
It's a big stop by Damian Swan because he is outsized, but low man wins. He gets leverage. He's able to get underneath the 6'5" Mike Evans and drive him back to ensure that he didn't stretch out and get the first.
So this will be a 47-yard field goal. Earlier from 39. And this kick is no good. It's hooked, and Barth misses, and the score remains 17-10. This was a big defensive play by Damian Swan.
Today's game is sponsored by Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49 only at BK.
And here is the playoff picture as it affects the Buccaneers. They're a game behind Seattle. Actually, Tampa Bay has a better conference record than the Seahawks, but they need Seahawks to lose and to at least get even. That's going to be a tall order. 1st and 10 for the Saints, and Drew Brees with the pass, and it's incomplete downfield was Bruce Carter, the middle linebacker, and that's what you do in the Tampa 2. Now the pass intended for Watson.
He's coming back a little bit limping, but that was a risky throw by Drew Brees because he just threw it into triple coverage. I know you have confidence in your big tight end, Ben Watson, who's just running the streak right down the seam, but look at that throw. Midge Wright almost had that one.
That was the riskiest pass that Brees has thrown today. He is 22 of 28, 230 yards. 2nd down and 10. And Hightower is going to be knocked back for a big loss. Tony McDaniel, former Seahawk, and you were singing his praises of what he did a week ago against Atlanta.
Any way to stop a running game, especially zone running, what do? You get penetration into the backfield. You see big Tony McDaniel right here playing that 3 technique over the guard. He just shoots the gap. Backside pulling guard doesn't even recognize him, and he gets right back, gets a big tackle for a loss.
Up 5 yards, so it'll be 3rd and 15. Here's the crowd now. And the sack and the flag. Brees goes down. Courtney Brown, who joined the team almost in mid-year from Houston. Loss of 7 pending the call.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face. Defense, number 95. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. 1st down, New Orleans.
It's on Howard Jones, and it'll be an automatic 1st down. This is the kind of penalties that have affected the Saints. But now the Bucs commit a huge defensive penalty. And it'll be a 1st down for New Orleans on the 37.
It was a big rush by Brown, too. You see the hands in the face over here on this side of the screen. But great rush by Courtney Brown. Was able to get penetration, get Streif back on his heels, and make an inside move to come up with a sack. But it doesn't matter if your counterpart on the other side gets a penalty.
And the handoff to Tim Hightower. Hightower with a headlong speed gets up to the 44-yard line, picking up 7 for a game break. Here's Mike Hill.
Hey, Coach, trying to stay on top of that AFC South, getting the battle from Jacksonville, and their rookie Rashad Green gets the punt from his own 27, and he's gone. 73-yard for the score. Jags' first punt return TD since 2010. 23-13 Jaguars in the 3rd.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Here in Tampa, it'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Saints. Up to the 44. Then they go to Hightower, and Hightower will get the 1st down. Boy, he has performed well. Conte and Wright bring him down, not before 7 yards. So remember Mark Ingram on IR with the surgery to his injured shoulder. Hightower has gained 52 yards, David, on 17 carries.
And has gained 52 tough yards, running physically downhill. And, you know, the one thing that I questioned early on in the game, having a back who hasn't had extended play after 3 years, was his vision, his patience. He's shown all of that today by the way he's running.
And here is Brees drilling it, and the pass is caught by Brandon Coleman. And Coleman gets inside the 30-yard line. So Brees getting the running game going. There's a flag down. As well, ball would be spotted at the 29.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle. Defense, number 23. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. 1st down, New Orleans.
2 critical penalties against Tampa Bay. That was a horse collar penalty on Chris Conte.
Talk about a smooth route by this 6'6" receiver out of Rutgers. He comes across and he sees that somebody's coming over, slides right by the big hit that he was going to receive. Nice move, just continuing to press forward. Drew Brees giving it to every single one of the receiver and giving them opportunities to make play.
And here is Hightower again spinning his way and picking up a couple extra yards. maybe one. By the way, Chris Conte, after that last penalty, came out of the game and Bradley McDougal came back in. So the Saints obviously struggling with their safeties today.
Second and 9 at the 14.
The secondary of the Bucs is they're having issues. They're rotating in and out. There's injuries. You know, whether it's Wright, McDougal, Conte's been in and out, and right away Drew Brees smells the blood in the water like a shark, and he's delivering it.
As we've seen for how long? Second down and 10. And the pass to Watson, who makes the catch to the 9-yard line. Benjamin Watson picking up 5 yards on the play. Drew Brees. And the Saints knew they'd have to do it with their arm. They've got some good running, though. But that's the 10th consecutive game with 250 or more passing yards and a touchdown for the veteran Brees.
I know that you're not looking at the yardage saying, oh, wow, you're overwhelmed with it. But what it's allowed them to do is being third and manageable downs like they are right now, which they're 8 of 11 today.
Third down and 4. Got to get inside the 5 to move the chains. And this pass is caught, and it'll be a first down. Josh Hill with his first catch of the game, giving the Saints first and goal at the 3.5.
Well, I circled earlier Hightower on his pass protection pickup. Here we get another blitz. He sees Bruce Carter, steps up, makes a big hit that allows Drew Brees to deliver that one for the first down. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. You got it.
Hightower
nice
goes
play.
Yep, Hightower going out of the game. 7 different receivers have caught passes from Brees today. C.J. Spiller is in the game as a receiver. First and goal at the 3. And there's the pass to the back of the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Colston. Thrown out of the end zone, and that will bring up second and goal.
More than any place out on the field today, it's in the red zone where we're seeing Drew Brees, where they're trying to change the launch point to get him in different positions. But it's not only about Drew Brees. I feel that this is their way that they feel that they can get those matchups off the backside, the big crossing routes, you know, the goalpost throws that they've set up.
All the points for New Orleans have come from the red zone this game. Second down and goal. And here is Hightower up the middle. Hightower is in for the touchdown. It's Drew Brees' arm, but Tim Hightower giving the Saints unexpected rushing offense today. Scores the touchdown to give New Orleans a 23-10 lead from 3 yards out.
When you're down this close as an offensive lineman, what do you say? Score with your defensive lineman. Watch them push and get Spence. Bruce Carter just continuing to press them off of the line of scrimmage. Easy run for Hightower and touchdown.
He played for the Black Tips in the Fall Experimental Football League. And now he's working it for the Saints. The extra point is good for Kai Forbath. And with 53 seconds to go in the third, it's 24-10. Flag on the play. Flag. Penalty markers down. After the kick.
Extracurricular punches and fighting. Gotta love division games.
They're special, aren't they?
They most certainly are.
I think you had a couple in your 11 years.
Just a couple against the Eagles
After
and the
play,
Cowboys.
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 92. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The PAT is good.
So William Golston, and they're going to assess it on the kickoff, and personal foul against him. It's 24-10. Here's the scoring drive, and for Tim Hightower, his first rushing touchdown since September 11th, 2011, and it was a drive helped by a hands to the face penalty against the Bucs when Brees was sacked. Personal foul, then and a horse collar on top of that. So the Bucs defense played the way the Saints defense normally has played.
Giving up first downs by penalties, extending the drives, and that is not something you want to give to Drew Brees. More opportunities to score and have extra plays.
Under a minute remaining in the third, and the Bucs will take it out on the 20. Well, Saturday, the UFC's 9 Days of Fury ends big. Rafael dos Anjos takes on the Cowboy Donald Cerrone in a World lightweight title fight plus heavyweight legends Junior Dos Santos battles Alistair Overeem. They square off. UFC Fight Night is free and begins Saturday at 8 Eastern only on your local Fox affiliate.
Last night's fight ended quick with a knockout, Conor McGregor.
Hopefully the Saints don't deliver a knockout to the Bucs this afternoon. Let's see what Jameis Winston does. Try to answer it. Completes to Doug Martin. And a 5-yard gain to the 25.
Well, you mentioned those two penalties to set up the Hightower touchdown. Here's the hands in the face right there. They had a sack, null and void, and here's the horse collar tackle by Chris Conley, taking down the big 6'6" receiver. 2 penalties, 7 points for the New Orleans Saints.
2nd and 5, pressure, and Safarian Jenkins covered by Vaccaro pretty well, and right in the face was the Saints defense led by Tavares Barnes. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Donnell Ellerbe, who came out, is back in there at the linebacking position. By the way, first game that he has played since October 25th against the Colts.
Well, he's been more in the nickel situations to ease him back after missing 5 games. Anderson's been the base will linebacker.
On 3rd and 5, Winston's pass, and it's incomplete. Cameron Brate was the intended receiver. Jarris Byrd is there. Tell you what, the Saints secondary playing aggressively today and doing well.
And Jarris Byrd is one of those wild cards. He's a roamer. He is a ball hawk, and since 2009, he has had 23 interceptions. Nice play getting over the top and getting a pass defensed.
Jarris Byrd now returning. Remember, Marcus Murphy was injured, had to go out. C.J. Spiller started the second half, and now Byrd is back to return on the kick from Jacob Shum. Running up and making the grab is Byrd. He didn't have to do any more than that to give the Saints good field position right around the 45.
Today's game is sponsored by Cricket Wireless, the Merrier Carrier.
Back here in Tampa, along with David Deal and Christina Pink, Dick Stockton. 11 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Saints have a first down on their 43. Hightower, and nothing doing, no gain on the play, maybe a yard, and that should be the end of the 3rd quarter. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score: Saints 24, Bucs 10. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Everybody made a big deal last week about Brandon Browner and Dennis Allen getting after it. Here's D-line coach Joe Cullen and Gerald McCoy. This happens every single Sunday on sidelines, and emotions are high, especially when as much is on the line like today's game.
Nothing wrong with that. It's healthy. C.J. Spiller in the backfield on 2nd and 9, and the quick to the outs of Snead. Snead dekes a linebacker, and it was David who he deked and gets to within a yard of the first down, but a flag is back down at the 39. So the 8-yard pickup pending.
Illegal formation. Offense. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
So an 8-yard gain nullified and a 5-yard loss on the play. It'll still be 2nd down, but 14. You know, just that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been flat, as you mentioned, out of sync today on both sides of the ball. And of course, as Lovie Smith said to Christina Pink, special teams as well. Total yardage story shows a bit of it. 2nd down and 14. Breeze. And the pass is caught by Brandon Coleman. And gets to the 45-yard line. Still 8 yards shy of the first down.
Time. That's what Drew Brees has right now, sitting back there throwing the football. Offensive line settled down. They had a twist earlier that they gave up the pressure and gave up the sack. Once again, if they're not doing those stunts up front and only rushing forward by the Bucs defense, this O-line for the Saints has been stout.
Reads his numbers, and he spread it around. Colston prevented from getting the first down. Lansana among others for the Buccaneers. So it'll be about 1.5 yards short shy of the first down. 4th down and 1. So what do you do here?
It's a great question, because the Saints actually this season are 7 of 12, 58% on 4th down. So they've tried their hand and they've gone after it.
And they're going to again.
They've got nothing to lose, Dick.
You're right, 4 and 8, trying to stop a 4-game losing streak. Coming off the field was Bruce Carter, by the way, the middle linebacker. So here it is. 4th and 1. From the 48. And the flag is down and a false start. Well, that'll take care of that. So they try to draw them, get a defensive offside.
And when you're going out there, this is one that you call a no-brainer.
False start. Offense. The center. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
But what I was saying is this is one that you call a no-brainer as an offense. You know you're not going to snap it. You see the jerk of the head. That's what they called it. Don't be the guy on the O-line that doesn't have a brain and jumps off sides.
I got to ask you, did you ever do that?
No.
Thank you.
And if it was a tough time, we used to tell guys, close your eyes. Don't look at the football. You know it's not getting snapped.
Here's the punt by Morstead. Bobby Rainey. And the ball dying at the 1, and then takes a New Orleans bounce into the end zone for a touchback. Early 4th, 24-10, the Saints.
Today's game is sponsored by Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49 only at BK.
1st and 10 at the 20 for the Buccaneers, who trail by 2 touchdowns. Only 92 yards passing thus far for Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay. We've got Charles Sims, their pass catching back in the game. And here's a screen pass, and it's off the hands of Sims. Incomplete. Pressure that time by Barnes again. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming into this game trying to keep it going in their playoff hunt, just outside looking in the 7th spot. New Orleans at 4 and 8. They almost beat Carolina last week. They've got Drew Brees on their team. So Lovie Smith knew that he had his work cut out for him, but this team has just come out flat, unlike a team that is on a drive.
The biggest thing that the Saints defense has been able to do, minimize big runs, and they've been able to apply pressure on Jameis Winston so that it relies on his mechanics, and he's been falling back, thrown off of his back foot.
Sims and 3 Saints bring him down about 1.5 yards shy of the first down, led by Donnell Ellerbe.
Actually, there was 4 Saints, and 3 of them were defensive linemen. That's the hustle that you haven't seen in that stretch where they were giving up everything. Today, they're outplaying and out-hustling the Buccaneers.
It's got to be one of, if not the best defensive effort of the year for this team that has given up 32 points a game on only 10 thus far against a team that has scored well lately. So it'll be 3rd down and 2. Winston has to get rid of it in a hurry, and Mike Evans makes a good catch in traffic and a first down to the 41. Talk about clutch, and when you need the Bucs to get it, they had it there.
Well, his range, his ability to get the ball with those long arms, 6'5", that ball's thrown far inside. He's able to get back to it and get those big arms up and catch it.
12-yard gain up to the 42 of the Bucs. And this time it's Shepard. Flag is down.
And that's right at Brandon Browner.
Russell Shepard.
He was one-on-one against Mike Evans.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 13.
Wow.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot.
So Evans is
Replay,
called for the
down.
push-off. offensive pass interference called against Mike Evans.
Two big guys going after it, but I think they're trying to run the rub route, and I think that's where it was called. I saw it thrown right at Brandon Browner, but you see the pick. Lauren tries to dip that shoulder into it to open up things for Shepard on the out.
So now it's first down and 20, back to the 32. And here is Sims. Sims breaking a tackle. Pretty good run by Sims. It looked like he was trapped for no gain. Ellerby finally brings him down, and another penalty flag is down. 2, in fact. And Browner with his helmet off, shouting over at the Tampa Bay huddle.
His helmet actually got ripped off by Mike Evans.
Clete Blakeman.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 13. That penalty occurred during a dead ball. The down will count, second down, and it's a 15-yard penalty from there. Down is 2.
Clearly frustrated about the play before. He starts attacking Brandon Browner. At the end, you see him grab the helmet and throw it off of him. Here's where the penalty was.
So it's on Evans, and so the Buccaneers going backwards. Their poise right now comes into question, David Deal.
Adversity is hit, and they're not handling it well.
2nd and 29. Winston, a lot of time, has to go underneath to Sims. Breaking a tackle is Sims to the 30, 35-yard line. Good play by Charles Sims. Still a long way to go for a first down. Let's check in now with Kurt Menefee with a game break.
Carolina rolling all over Atlanta. Fozzie Whitaker in for the injured Jonathan Stewart, who's out with a foot injury. Scores a 16-yard touchdown. They lead it 38-0 going in the fourth quarter. Cam Newton, 3 touchdown passes, and they're giving him the rest of the day off. Dick?
As well they should, Kurt. That would be 6 straight losses for Atlanta. And they dump it off to Sims. And Sims diving close to midfield. Forward progress is at 48, still 4 yards shy of a first down, as Damian Swan is there to make the play. And we have an injury on the field, and it is Swan. We're going to take a timeout. This has been a rough sequence for Mike Evans, hasn't it?
They're helping Damian Swan off the field right now. You see he's shooken up, and he's missed 6 games this year, and you see him coming downhill. He comes in to make the tackle on Sims on the screen, and lowers, keeps his head up. It wasn't that, but then you see the rest of it. Just definitely shook up, and it's never good when you're watching a player needing that type of help to get off the field and they can't walk off on their own.
5th round pick out of Georgia, replaced by Brian Dixon. So now it's 4th down and 4 from the 48.
5 of 9 on the season on 4th down.
Bucks rolling the dice here. Pressure on Winston, and this pass is going to be caught by Safarian Jenkins, but a flag is down at back where Winston let go of the ball.
Took a shot to the face, personal foul.
They'll add on to that. Kenny Vaccaro is right in Jameis Winston's face. The 9-yard catch would have been a first down.
Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 32. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the catch.
So
first
they got
down,
9 yards, and they're going to tack on 15.
Please put 9 minutes, 52 seconds.
Safarian Jenkins working one-on-one against Browner. Nice job getting low for his height, getting underneath, but here's a shot. Vaccaro right underneath the chin. You know that they're protecting the quarterback. You've already had your personal fouls this season and this game.
The New Orleans 28.
So it'll be a first down at the 28. Tampa Bay down by 2 touchdowns. Winston drills it, and it's caught by Evans. And Evans with a first down. A couple of words for the New Orleans defense, and a gain of 22 yards.
I know Evans has had some adversity. He had the 2 penalties in a row, but great catch. But he better be careful flinging the football like that and throwing it, because last thing you want to do is, after a nice play like that, get something for celebrating when you're not in the end zone.
We have had countless drives extended by penalties on both sides in this game. First and goal at the 6. And here is Sims. They fake the pitch to him. Here is Winston. And Winston going to Humphries for the touchdown. Adam Humphries. They had Sims going in one way, and Winston and Humphries going the other way, and a 6-yard touchdown pass brings the Bucs closer with just under 9 minutes to go in the fourth.
Well, Dirk Cutter talked about Humphries and that he's the Stockton, that he is the assist man, that he is the guy that gets plays open up for other people. But he always said, Dirk Cutter, I have one play for him that I designed to give him his opportunity. They run him on the underneath, the boot by Winston, hits him and he gets his touchdown, and it's big play.
Connor Barth will try to bring the Buccaneers to within 7 points. And he does. So Adam Humphries, who went to tryout camp long before regular camp, hung in. Crafty, he's called. Could play all the wide receiver positions, and he catches a big one here.
Today's game is sponsored by Target. Expect more, pay less.
9 plays, 80 yards. And for Adam Humphries, his first career touchdown receiving play. And it's now 24-17. C.J. Spiller.
Stockton and Malone, the assist man.
On the pick and roll. What else? Saints will take out at the 20. We'll be there Wednesday as a soccer legend and an American hero takes her final bow. Don't miss Abby Wambach's final game as Team USA takes on China. Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And that soccer match will be directed by our director here, Wayne Wilson.
Well, while we were going through that promo, this Tampa Bay defense was looking at the crowd, telling them to get on their feet. They haven't had a lot to cheer for. Hopefully this will be it.
I thought they were listening to the promo. First down at the 20. Breeze and a one-hopper to Josh Hill, incomplete. I think a lot of it is going to be pressure for the Bucs, don't you think, against Breeze, if they can get it unleashed. Breeze has been sacked twice so far this game.
There should have been a third, but it was taken back because of the penalty.
Dialing up the offense. Sean Payton and Lovie Smith, the defense. They've gone against each other many times. And Payton was with the Giants and Smith with the Rams as coordinators. Second down and 10 from the 20.
Bucs defense showing blitz right down the middle.
Spiller. Nothing doing. And Carter, who came out of the game earlier, is the middle linebacker playing today for Quan Alexander, suspended the rest of the season. A loss of 1.
See him right here inside. They had those linebackers double mugged, and he's able to split right through. Gets right inside, gets it, shucks off the block. Makes a big play like Quan Alexander has made all season. Bruce Carter has stepped up and has risen to the challenge.
3rd and 11. Crowd in full throat. Breeze and Colston holds on to it. Alteron Werner was in his face. And now the ball is knocked loose, and the Buccaneers, it is a first down. They both grab it. It goes to the offense at the same time.
Almost runs like the tight end does. That stick, that Y stick, sits right at the seams. You see Bruce Carter adding on a blitz at the end with Drew Brees seeing it and able to deliver it.
Colston, Watson, and Snead all with 6 catches today. First down, and here is Hightower. Gets a yard on forward progress. Stopped by Danny Lansana and Major Wright.
It was stopped by Lansana, but the person who caused that pileup was actually Bruce Carter getting downhill, hitting at the line of scrimmage that opened up Lansana to run through to come up with the tackle. Nice plays and nice series for Bruce Carter thus far.
He's played well.
Well, it's a good thing when we don't mention his name because that means that he is playing well.
That's what he's done today. 2nd down and 9. Here comes pressure on Breeze, but he gets it off to Hightower. Tim Hightower, and he'll get the first down. On the screen pass just before he was hit by Henry Melton. And a good block that time by Tim Lolito, the right guard playing for Jari Evans, and an injured Buccaneer back on the 25. That's a 10-yard pickup. We'll take a break. We'll be back.
Timeout.
Akeem Spence being taken off the field, and his place taken by Tony McDaniel. First down at the 42 of the Saints, winding down to 6 minutes to go in regulation. Here's Drew Brees, and a tough play thrown in traffic. Incomplete. It was Benjamin Watson. Major Wright was there. This was a risky toss, and 2 of the Bucs end up on the grass.
I want to go back to that 3rd down conversion because what did the Buccaneers dial up? They dial up a blitz directed right at Hightower. Sean Payton and Drew Brees couldn't pick a screen at a better time to get set up. Opens things wide open, and that's a big conversion on 3rd down.
Now it's 2nd and 10. They've only rushed for 60, but they've come at the right time for the Saints. And the whistle, play blown dead. And a timeout called by New Orleans. New Orleans calling a timeout. You made a comment before, David Deal, about division games, and of course you've had experience before, but this has been tremendous. After beating Atlanta at home last week in a tough game, they're into it again, the Buccaneers, in their playoff hunt.
They have. They've been battle tested all season with games where they've been up 20, where they've been down 17 in the 4th quarter, but this is a game where you know this last drive here has got to stop for the Bucs, and it can't be done the way that they've done all week and all game, just like the Saints. Penalties. Defensively, it has extended drives, and they've been able to take advantage of those all day. And like I said, it hasn't just been the Bucs, it's been the Saints as well.
But the Saints are not playing like a 4-8 team in this game. 2nd down and 10, and the pass batted in the air, incomplete. Levante David. And you know, David could always pick that up too. He's run an interception back for a score already this year.
They are applying pressure. They are blitzing, and they are getting downhill. Levante David looking right through and able to get his hands up. And there is another big 3rd down.
Saints are 10 of 14, but they need 10 yards here. Jameis Winston getting ready to come back in when the time comes. 3rd down and 10. Flag, and they're going to blow the play dead. It's going to be a false start penalty against the Saints, bringing up 3rd down and 15 now.
False start. Offense. Number 64. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Zach Streif, the veteran right tackle.
Once again, the Tampa Bay defense has blitzes dialed up. They have 2 linebackers on both sides of the center here. They have on the outside, they have on the edge here, Major Wright. They're coming after Drew Brees because they know when they've not been able to do it with the front 4, he has been able to make big plays.
Now the job gets a lot more difficult. 3rd and 15. Quickly to Snead. Snead with blockers. And Snead is going to be stopped 2 yards short of the first down as he's tackled at midfield by Levante David. Who else? Does he rise to the occasion in crunch time or what?
He most certainly does. And that one, it looks like Willie Snead fumbled it, but was able to grab it right away.
So now it'll be 4th down and 2.
There's the ball out, and he was able to roll over and get it.
14-yard play, but falling short, and Morstead is going to come on to kick it away with just under 6 minutes remaining. What do you think of this decision here?
You know, middle of the field, the way that their defense has played, they've held up enough, but you got to talk about the big step up and rise to the challenge that the Buccaneers defense just had on that one to make sure that they stopped them and they came away with no points.
Bobby Rainey is back to receive the punt. And the ball will go into the end zone. It's a touchback. Well, Tuesday, Jameis Winston and the other members of the Buccaneers Rookie Club went to All Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg to spread holiday cheer to kids who are stricken by illness. This is an annual event done by the Bucs rookies each December.
Amazing to see the smile on the kids' faces and to see Jameis Winston crawling on all fours going around the corner.
He's great with kids.
He most certainly has been. You see him before in the pregame talking, walking over to all the kids and shaking hands, and it's great to see that stuff.
Ready!
From the 20, Bucs need a touchdown. And an extra point to tie. Doug Martin on the pitch to the right. Doug Martin. And Doug Martin. His best run of the game was 22 yards. He's topped that with a 24-yard pickup, getting the Bucs closer to midfield. They're at the 43.
That same play, that toss, is the play that he scored on early in this football game, testing the edges once again of the Saints defense where they have not been good at the point of attack, forcing things back inside. Gets Holly out there, Big Smith making a block.
At the 44, 81 yards rushing for Doug Martin. Winston's up the middle, incomplete. Mike Evans, the intended receiver, and covered by Delvin Breaux. One thing about the Saints cornerbacks, they do have size, and usually most teams have a disadvantage against the 6'5" Jackson, who's been hurt and out of the game, and Evans, who's also 6'5". 2nd and 10. Winston is going deep. Sims is there, the running back downfield, and he had a linebacker, Donnell Ellerbe, covering him, and a deep throw goes incomplete, bringing up 3rd down.
Now that's a matchup that you want to see for the Buccaneers. They actually did this earlier. Stephon Anthony was on him, but they ran the screen. This time he's just running the fly, and Ellerbe, whose conditioning has to be in question considering he's missed 5 games and has only really been in the nickel package. They tried making a big play. Unfortunately, it went too far.
3rd down and 10. He's got time, and Dante Dye looked like he should have made the catch from this angle. Ryan Dixon was defending. Pass looked on the mark, David, and it was juggled and dropped by Dye.
That's where you get your opportunity as a player when you have Vincent Jackson, but who's not out there right now, Mike Evans. When you have all these other guys, you know that you're going to get your one-on-one opportunities, and if you want to stay in the NFL for long, you capitalize on those and make that catch.
Otherwise, it's not for long, NFL. So the Buccaneers now forced to punt. Shum kicking to Jarris Byrd with 4:20 remaining in regulation. And the fair catch called for by Byrd on the 14. Well, coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week. The Cowboys head to Lambeau Field in Green Bay to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. America's Game of the Week coming up next here on Fox. Can you imagine the Cowboys are 4-8, 1 game out of the NFC East lead?
Well, the NFC East has been absolutely crazy, but you know why everybody wants to watch this game. The Des Bryant, the catch, no catch that propelled the Packers to get into the playoffs and play the way that they did last season. So, that's definitely going to be a game watched, and it should be America's game of the week.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 now at the 14 for Drew Brees and the Saints. Here is Hightower, and Hightower gets good yardage out to the 20, getting 6 yards on 1st down.
Opportunities are never lost. Someone will take the one that you miss, and Hightower is taking advantage of it. And what a story after having that knee infection, missing 3 basic years of football, and working himself back into the lineup.
63 yards today. Mark Ingram on injured reserve. Valuable back, pass protector, receiver, runner, you name it. 2nd down and 4, and they go again to Hightower, and he'll be stopped a yard short of the 1st down. William Golston makes the tackle, bringing up 3rd and 1.
And this is a point in the game right here, the 4-minute drive. It shows you up front, offensive line or defensive line wise, who wants this game. And I know that's a cliche, but they know you're running it. You know you're running it. It's all about who's going to win those one-on-one battles at the line of scrimmage.
On the rollout, here's Watson. And maybe the extra effort with the ball got him the 1st down. It looked like he was stopped a yard short. He got the reach out there and the 1st down. Major Wright did what he could. And the Saints will have a 1st down here.
We saw Willie Snead do that in the 1st half. We see Ben Watson do it now. He knows exactly where that 3rd down marker is and able to extend and get that 1st down.
Tampa Bay takes its 1st timeout.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers call a timeout. Their 1st with 2:37 remaining in regulation. Each team has 2 timeouts remaining now. What a competitor that man is.
It's a true test to him, but
he's put 2 minutes, 39 seconds on the game clock, 2:39.
After last week, the loss to Carolina, are you playing for your jobs? Or what are you playing for? And he said, we'll see who wants to be on this football team and prove that they're worthy in the NFL. All based off this football game.
Well, you experienced that in your rookie year.
I sure did. And I've lost 8 straight games, and this is a time where you're fighting for your future in the NFL. You're fighting for your job.
Cooks is split wide to the left. 1st down at the 25. Here's the pitch to Hightower. Hightower getting close to the 30-yard line. Picking up 4 yards. And we'll have
Tampa Bay takes its 2nd timeout.
Tampa Bay
the 32nd timeout.
Left with 1 timeout in the game. Well, David, you talk about the great stop that the Bucs defense had the last time. Couldn't get anything going here, and they've got to get it done, and the timeouts are not going to be in their favor if they get the ball back.
No, they won't. And you've got to give a lot of credit to the New Orleans Saints. The way they came out and played this game, they started fast. And here, what do we see in the 2nd half? Something that they haven't done. They're finishing the football game, and they're doing it with the guys up front. They've given Drew Brees plenty of time to deliver the ball throughout the day. He's played very well, and
the defense has played better than they have. 2nd down and 6. Hightower again, and he'll be 2 yards short of the 1st down. And Buccaneers call their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Don't forget, stay with us. I know you're going to be here for the America's game, but you got to be here for the done deal when we find out David's player of the game, and I do not have a vote.
Well, the name, it's done deal. I get to pick.
But you have a staff, don't you?
No staff. I've watched both of these teams' entire seasons. I've know ins and outs of each and every one of these players.
Don't you want an opinion?
Performance. No.
You don't want an opinion?
No. We're good.
Can I veto it?
No. You're the president of dining, not the done deal.
I'll keep my job. 3rd down and 2. The Buccaneers are out of timeouts. Here's Breeze. Going up top. Incomplete. Cooks, and the flag is down. Brandon Cooks. And a penalty flag is down. And defending was Sterling Moore. Alteron Verna, the nickelback, also back in there. 2 flags are down, in fact.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 21. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
A crippling penalty, and this has been the story of this game for both teams now.
Verna right there, one-on-one. You see that left hand in the back, grabbed around that. It's past the 3 yards. We've seen this all season, and it couldn't have come at a worse time. But like we said earlier, the drive where they stopped them before this one, they didn't have those penalties. They didn't have those mistakes. I think that one just cost them the game.
Penalties have plagued the Buccaneers practically all year. Here is Hightower. There'll be one more stoppage of the clock, and that at the 2-minute warning, which will be coming up. The Buccaneers are out of timeouts. But defensive penalties on both teams, but really for Tampa Bay, really critical considering they're down by 7. And we have an injury and a stoppage of the clock. Bruce Carter, who's played an outstanding game, filling in at middle linebacker, will be back. So Bruce Carter, the former Cowboy, who had a good practice week, and Lovie Smith said, I don't think we're going to miss a beat with him. And really they didn't. 8 tackles, 2 for losses today, being taken off the field. Ori Lemon, who's been up and down 3 times, signed with Tampa Bay this year alone, will replace him. But a blow for a guy who really performed well for Quan Alexander, the rookie from LSU, who was suspended the rest of the game. And we're now down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remain in regulation here in Tampa with the Saints in front, 24-17. 2 minutes remaining in Tampa. The Saints ready to deal the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a stunning blow in their playoff hopes, leading 24-17. Handoff to Tim Hightower. Cannot stop the clock anymore. Can Tampa Bay, in a game in which Drew Brees knew he had to throw the ball to win? He got Marcus Colston for 2 touchdown passes to start it. And the New Orleans Saints, who did well early, also did well late, David Deal.
They did. They started this game fast, and they found a way to finish this football game. Unlike in the past, where they were the ones having all the penalties on the defensive side of the ball, it's been the Buccaneers, and it's cost them because they've been giving Drew Brees first downs with them.
Here's Tim Hightower. Great story today, and Hightower getting the first down because he's filling in along with Spiller for Mark Ingram, who is out for the rest of the year.
And I said this before, once it started, the 4-minute drive is about an attitude, and Tim Hightower and this offensive line running the football right down the throats of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They know you're going to run it. You know you're going to run it. It's all about who's going to step up, and the Saints wanted this game more.
And Drew Brees with 2 touchdown passes, going past Dan Marino, 4th all time. Saints defense coming alive. They were at the bottom of the league in almost everything. Winston, 2nd lowest average of the season. Pressure on Winston early, and this 4-8 team, when you have Drew Brees, different story. The done deal.
We actually have, for the first time this season, 2 winners. Got to start with Drew Brees. 2 touchdowns today to go to 421 and 4th all-time to pass Dan Marino in passing touchdowns, and Tim Hightower. The way that he played today, he ran hard, he got downhill, converted on screens on 3rd down, running on 3rd down, and he had 2 key blocks picking up blitzes so that Drew Brees can convert.
So the Saints will go to 5-8, and they are mathematically still alive for a wild card playoff berth, and a big blow to Tampa Bay. So for David Deal and Christina Pink, Dick Stockton saying so long from Tampa. Right now, let's go to the State Farm Game Break Show with Kurt Menefee and the boys in Los Angeles.